literally said like when she like as a child like had the weight of like, you know, so many people on his shoulders at such a young age, you know what I'm saying, like hating on him off of something that he had really no input on, for real, like that was his parents, like he was just born, and unfortunately he just ended up being born into unfortunate circumstances where people did not treat him right at a young age. Okay, so they were in the market, his caregiver, and Qin Shi, and he literally started to see like hot buns that he liked, and she was like, if you want one, you don't have to like just stare, let's go. Like she like ended up heading over there, and she ordered the two buns, and then the owner got so enraged when he saw Qin Shi, and he literally threw like the hot fresh bun on the ground, bro. And then Qin Shi is so like, you feel me, like humble. He literally picks it up off the ground and brushes it off and starts eating it. And he's just like, thank you. And while he's eating it, you can like see and feel, well, all the like people, you know, hating him and the different things, like because of him, like my brother got buried alive because of him, my brother got tortured because of him, you know, just blaming a lot of stuff on him, unfortunately. And then they also was like, the only reason why, like I said, they said the guards already said this, but this is the townsfolk really like confirming it. Like the only reason why you're still alive is because of Quinn, like you feel me, he's protecting you or whatever. And he was, and then they called him like a prince that wants for nothing, such a brat and stuff like that. And just mean stuff. So then after he eats dinner, what's her name again? I'll put her name or whatever. So as he's eating dinner and stuff like that, he was like, you know, I'm not feeling well, I'm gonna go to my room and go to bed early. And before he leaves, she can hear like sizzling, and then she pulls down like his garment, and she could see a whole bunch of like scars on him, embedded onto him. And she's like, what is this? And he was like, this is all the pain from the people like projecting onto me, basically. And like I, you know, like burn basically, and it inflicts pain onto me. Unfortunately, when I look at them, that's how I'm able to like absorb their pain, is when I look at them and make like contact and stuff like that. And even like I said, close contact is also how he's able to have pain inflicted on him as well. That's what happened when he, not only when he looked at Hades, but as well as he was in close proximity to him too. They call it mirror touch synesthesia, where like if he sees somebody get hurt, or he feels the person's emotions, like he takes upon what they're feeling, like I said, projection basically. So because of that, he ends up, like you feel me, because of his understanding, he ends up taking on like their pain or whatever. And he was like, because of, like you feel me, unfortunately my family, that's why they hate me so much. But she's like, so you don't feel sad, you don't feel angry, you don't feel mad, you never express those emotions, like you can express those emotions instead of taking on everyone else's pain. What about you? Like, how do you feel? How are your emotions? Like, you matter. Frig all these people, basically, man. And he says, I accept this pain as punishment. That is so sad. At 7 years old, you're taking on the accountability of your freaking parents. Like, that shit is crazy. Something that you had nothing to do with, weren't even friggin', like, probably a friggin', what's it called, an embryo yet, bitch. Didn't I say he used the smile as a coping mechanism? They said that he used his smile to soften up this searing hatred directed at him. Didn't I say that? Get out of here. And then she told him, like, you feel me, you can express yourself and everything like that. Like, she became his first safe space after not having one from neither one of his parents and from no one around him. And she said that, you want to know how you know you're a good person and that you're not cursed and stuff like that, because he called himself that, is because the scars you took on are like scene of your sweetheart, for you taking on others' pain, you feel me? You having the courage to bear that. That's a heavy thing to bear. You feel me? She said your scars are proof of your sweetheart. Like, oh my god, that is so good. And then he just breaks down, and this is the first time he's broken down in like 7 years, bro. Cause you gotta think about this man, just complimenting, and he's crying, he's bawling out to her, and he's like, I hate them all for blaming me and stuff like that. It's not my fault, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, really letting out this frustration, you know, that's been bottled up. And I really think low-key his blowing technique came from her, because she was always blowing the windmill. Thank you! Oh my god, thank you! The little windmill, finally I got it. She's always blowing the windmill, so I feel like that's why he took on the technique. And then after he cried and released all his emotions, she gave him a gift, which was the headband to cover his eyes, so he didn't have to take upon anyone else's pain. You feel me? So he was shielded from it. That was so sweet of her. Her name is Qin Yang. So during the time she spent 2 years with him, he ended up building like a family, like kind of motherly relationship with her. I would call her like an auntie in a sense, because she was nurturing, but also she was like fun, like strict. So like she helped like him like fix up the tower and stuff like that, because they would, you know, damage where he lived and stuff like that. And she just installed like a lot of confidence into him. And she taught him like different types of things. Like she played pranks with him. That's why I said kind of gave auntie vibes. And then like she like kind of did like defensive like little teachings it showed with him as well. And she was helping him blossom into like a happy kid. Like for the first time, he was able to be happy and be a kid. And also because the blindfolds, he's not taking on people's pain once again, which is so brilliant of her coming up with this. And he was like, I didn't know you could make stuff. And she was like, I can do a lot of things. And you know what I'm saying? He was like, I'll never forget this. I'll wear it forever. You know what I'm saying? I'll keep it forever type vibe. So his dad ends up becoming the new king of Qi after the two previous kings who were holding him captive passed away. So he was like ordered to go back home in a sense. And all the people were shocked that, you feel me, that he ended up becoming king and ended up like leaving that like shithole where he was his whole life basically. I think he has to be, I think he's, it said 2 years, so he has to be like um 9 now. So as he's on his way heading back to his home, his palace and everything like that, his carriage ends up getting hijacked by the townspeople where he ended up growing up at, because they weren't able to seek revenge until the two emperors, like I said, passed away. So they had free reign. So on their way to like almost being at the palace's border, they get attacked, and like the whole like courtsmen, the horsemen, and then the people who were in the back with him ended up like getting murked, and only ones that was left was her and him. And then because of that, he was like, damn, this is happening because of me. So he picks up a sword and tries to defend him and her, but she ends up kicking him, so he has to focus on like, I guess, his own pain to distract him, so that she can defend them in a sense. Oh, she is strong as shit. But she took a hit though with a sword. You feel me? She can eat hits when it comes to swords, but she is fighting. She started taking them down instantly. So right after that, like she literally gets hit again, like a fatal like stab wound in her, and she goes down. And then the man, he tries to get Qin Shi, and then she ends up like coming behind him and like snapping his neck. And she was like, don't hurt my child. So then afterwards, she's laying on the ground and he's watching her basically die in front of him. And she was like, at first when I met you, I had a lot of hate and resentment because, you feel me, like my child ended up getting buried that day, and he would have been the same age that you would be right now. And she was like, for some reason, when I got to see you and embrace you and be around you, I couldn't be mean spirited towards you, because I just couldn't, you know what I'm saying? And you taught me